Good morning. Welcome to what is probably the most fantastic weather in the history of Minnesota. This is a great day. We, the faculty of the University of Minnesota School of Dentistry, present to all gathered the candidates for degrees in Advanced Education in Dentistry, Master of Science in Dental Hygiene, Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene, Master of Dental Therapy, and Doctor of Dental Surgery. Please be seated. Welcome to the University of Minnesota School of Dentistry Commencement Ceremony. I'm Gary Anderson, presently serving as the Interim Dean for the School of Dentistry. Today is a day for celebration for many reasons. We celebrate the accomplishments of these scholars and graduates. We celebrate all of you who have supported them through their education. I'd now like to take a few moments to introduce our special guests and representatives from the School of Dentistry. Please stand and remain standing as I introduce you. The Honorable Louis Sullivan, President Emeritus, Morehouse School of Medicine, former Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and our distinguished guest of honor and keynote speaker for the day. Dr. Danita Brown, Vice Provost for the University of Minnesota, Office of Student Affairs, and Dean of Students. Dr. Catherine Bonison, Associate Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for the Academic Health Center. Dr. Stephen Schumann, the guy that was carrying the big club on the way in this morning. That is our Mace of Honor, and he's the Associate Professor in the Department of Primary Dental Care, Director of Oral Services for Older Adults Program, and Director of the Graduate Education and Graduate Studies for the school. Dr. Schumann is our Century Club Professor of the Year. Dr. Keith Mays, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Dr. Todd Thayer, Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs. Dr. Natty Lopez, Assistant Dean for Admissions and Diversity. Dr. Joel Rudney, Assistant Dean for Research. Dr. Daniel Scar, Interim Chair, Department of Developmental and Surgical Sciences. Dr. Donald Simone, Chair, Diagnostic and Biological Sciences. Dr. Sheila Riggs, Chair, Department of Primary Dental Care. Dr. Scott McClanahan, Interim Chair, Department of Restorative Sciences. Dr. Christine Blue, Director, Division of Dental Hygiene. Dr. Carl Self, Director, Division of Dental Therapy. Dr. Eric Mills, Clinical Associate Professor, Division of Comprehensive Care. Dr. Chris Lother, Adjunct Associate Professor, Division of Prosthodontics. Dr. Lother was selected by the Doctor of Dental Surgery class of 2017 to be one of their 2 hooders. Dr. Retta Taleb, Clinical Assistant Professor, Department of Developmental and Surgical Sciences, Division of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery. Dr. Taleb was also selected by the Doctor of Dental Surgery class of 2017 to be a hooder. Mr. John Manahan, President, Minnesota Board of Dentistry. Dr. Kevin Dance, President, Minnesota Dental Association. Ms. Renee Johnson, President, Minnesota Dental Hygienists Association. Ms. Bridget Anderson, Executive Director, Minnesota Board of Dentistry. And Mr. Carmelo Cinqueonce, Executive Director, Minnesota Dental Association. Also joining us on staff are the faculty of the School of Dentistry. A big round of applause for our faculty and our honored guests. Please be seated. At this time, I'm truly honored to welcome Dr. Louis Sullivan, former Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services under President H.W. Bush, Chairman of the Board of the National Health Museum in Atlanta, and Chairman of the Washington, D.C.-based Sullivan Alliance to transform the health professions. This is a national nonprofit organization with a community-focused agenda to diversify and transform health professions education and health delivery systems. It is this passion of Dr. Sullivan's for community-focused education and health delivery systems that first brought Dr. Sullivan to visit the School of Dentistry last year to learn about our dental therapy program in support of oral health care, and we are honored to have him speak to our graduates today. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Dr. Louis Sullivan.
To Dean Anderson, members of the faculty, staff, alumni, students, I congratulate all of you on this occasion, but my remarks are particularly focused on the class of 2017. As each one of you knows, this is a very special time in your personal and your professional development. You've worked hard to get here. You've had many tough times as well as many enjoyable times. So you've earned the recognition that you will receive today. I congratulate you on achieving this milestone. You enter the health professions at a time of significant growth, of increasing demands from our citizens for services. We have continuing innovations in our healthcare system. advances of science, we also have great uncertainty as to how our system is organized and how it provides the services that we are expected to deliver. As a society, we are trying to reconcile two competing value systems. On the one hand, in America, we pride ourselves on our personal independence, our freedoms, our self-reliance. On the other hand, as a society, we're wrestling with the question of if and how much we should depend upon our fellow citizens to help us, particularly in times of need for health services and for other services as well. For society is a collection of its individuals and how we're organized and how we relate to one another. So class of 2017, you must add your voices and your views to this national debate, for its outcome will determine what kind of society we will have going forward. Dental medicine is also experiencing innovation and change. And the University of Minnesota School of Dental Medicine is leading some of that change. Because as you've heard, I was pleased to visit this institution a year ago to learn more about your program in dental therapies. A relatively new profession in the United States, though it has existed in most developed countries for as long as 90 years. I congratulate this institution for its leadership to find new ways to provide services to our citizens who, in spite of the dollars and the science we have in our system, we have too many of our citizens who do not receive the benefits of our advances. As you establish yourselves in your communities or in academic health centers and elsewhere, I urge each of you to provide compassionate science and leadership to your fellow man. Great leaders have a core set of values which guide them. These include honesty, integrity, a love of learning, respect for each person. Successful leaders have a clear vision of the future they wish to achieve, and they have the courage and the commitment and the persistence to achieve it. Great leaders also inspire others to reach for great goals. They have superior knowledge and skills, the result of many hours of preparation. They're also open to new ideas. They're willing to take prudent risks. They are undaunted by failure. Indeed, they learn from their failures and work to improve their efforts. So class of 2017, through your service and through your leadership, you will add value to the lives of others, and you will enrich your own life in so doing. So I challenge you to continue learning throughout the rest of your life, for in so doing, you will remain relevant in your profession, and you will be a cherished asset in your communities. Participate in the full life of your community, not only in your profession, but in political debates, in discussions about educational programs for our schools, public and private, in addressing such things as the adequacy of libraries, of recreational facilities, transportation systems, housing, air quality, and many others. In other words, in addition to being a highly trained dental professional, be an active, informed member of your town or your city, helping to make wise decisions for the benefit and the betterment of all. Great leaders take actions which add value to the lives of others. As you move to this next stage of your lives and your profession, remember those who helped you to get to where you are today. Your parents and other family members, your teachers and your counselors, your mentors, and many others who've shared their knowledge with you and helped to create the professional you are today. It is they who have helped to develop institutions such as this and maintain it and have it continue to grow. The learning environment which you have enjoyed is a result of the inputs of many people who have contributed their time and their talents. It is now your challenge and your opportunity to make your unique contributions to improving the lives and the health of your fellow man, your community, and your country. So in so doing, you will provide opportunities for those who follow in your path. So graduates, I congratulate you. I salute you for your achievements. But most importantly, I challenge you to continue learning for the rest of your life. I challenge you to be servant leaders of your generation, for our country needs you today and the years to come. Congratulations and best wishes to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan, for those inspirational words. I think there are messages in that speech for all of us, and thank you much. I'd now like to introduce Dr. Danita Brown-Young, Vice Provost for Student Affairs and Dean of Students at the University of Minnesota. Dr. Brown-Young is a member of Provost Karen Hansen's senior leadership team and works with campus leaders, including the president and provost, to enhance and promote the student experience. She leads an organization of 17 units that provide services, programs, and facilities that advance student success, inspire students to make lifelong positive contributions to society, promote an inclusive environment, and enrich the University of Minnesota community. Vice Provost Brown-Young, we invite you now to step forward and read the proclamation that confer our graduates their degrees.
Well, good morning. I know you all are excited about this, right? Okay, it's not just me. Will the graduates from advanced degree programs in endodontics, general practice residency, oral biology, oral and maxillofacial surgery, oral facial pain, orthodontics, pediatric dentistry, periodontology, prosthodontics, as well as the candidates for the degrees Master of Science in Dental Hygiene, Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene, Master of Dental Therapy graduates, and Doctor of Dental Surgery, please rise. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and on behalf of the authority of the University of Minnesota Board of Regents, I now confer upon you the degrees for which you have qualified. Congratulations. Let us recognize their achievements. Please be seated.
Now's the time you do that tassel thing. Believe me, all the faculty, we all sit and wonder every year which side do we start on and where did we end. Thank you, Vice Provost Brown-Young. We've now reached the time to formally honor our graduates. The presentation ceremony will begin with our advanced education and graduate programs in dentistry. Dr. Keith Mays, faculty members from our various advanced degree programs, and I will congratulate each student as Dr. Eric Mills announces the names of our candidates. Family members are encouraged to step forward to take photographs. Dignitaries, please take your places on the stage.
Candidates for certificates in endodontics and Master of Science degrees in dentistry are Dr. Alexander MacDonald Brown, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Dr. Christine Ashley Knoll, Rockwall, Texas. Dr. Michael Regan Anderson, Sammamish, Washington. Dr. Tyler James Shermans, Madison, South Dakota. Dr. Chu Ying Cha, Fresno, California. Dr. Benjamin England, Excelsior, Minnesota. Dr. Winston Liu, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dr. Ryan John Miskelin, Stetsonville, Wisconsin. Dr. Ryan Pacheco, Los Banos, California. Dr. Priya Upal, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Dr. Ashley Verbick, Andover, Minnesota. Candidates for Doctor of Philosophy degrees in oral biology are Dr. Prokopios Argyris, Athens, Greece. Dr. Lori Fisher, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Tin Lee, Blaine, Minnesota. Candidates for certificates in orofacial pain and Master of Science in Dentistry are Dr. Andres Cervantes Chavarria, Ciudad Colón, San Jose, Costa Rica. Dr. Sarenya Varun, Chennai, India. Candidates for certificates in pediatric dentistry are Dr. Lindsay Bedeau, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Dr. Tiamar Carey, Nassau, Bahamas. Dr. Matthew Husman, Rapid City, South Dakota. Dr. Emma Zimmerman, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Candidates for certificates in periodontology and Master of Science in Dentistry are Dr. Mark Elias Kirsten, Edina, Minnesota. Dr. Vasiliki Koidou, Thessaloniki, Greece. Dr. Tamir Shalev, Omer, Israel. Candidates for certificates in prosthodontics and Master of Science in Dentistry are Dr. Samuel Hickman, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Dr. Joseph Lucero, Brighton, Colorado. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Christine Blue, Director of the Division of Dental Hygiene, to congratulate the candidates for the Master of Science degree in Dental Hygiene and the Bachelor of Science degree in Dental Hygiene. Candidates for Master of Science degree in Dental Hygiene are Jody Ann Thompson Entinger, Mound, Minnesota. Jennifer Golden, Rapid City, South Dakota. Bethany Ann Palmstein, Duluth, Minnesota. Yvette Reibel, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kelly Stellenberg, Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Candidates for Bachelor of Science degree in dental hygiene are Joshua T. Adams, Pine City, Minnesota. Rowan Al-Khatib, Rosemount, Minnesota. Amy Arkand, Lina Lakes, Minnesota. Brianna Osted, Minnetonka, Minnesota. Catherine Bard Culbertson, St. Paul, Minnesota. Megan Bassler, Hutchinson, Minnesota. Emily Borrud, Minot, North Dakota. Maria Jerpinski, St. Paul, Minnesota. Jordan Dudek, Chatfield, Minnesota. Nettie Duval, Montevideo, Minnesota. Elizabeth A. Gornick, St. Paul, Minnesota. Stephanie Lynn Jamza, Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Ryan Junker, Stillwater, Minnesota. Alexis Costed, Dawson, Minnesota. Nicole Lavine, Larson, Wisconsin. Megan Manor, River Falls, Wisconsin. Amy Menden, Shakopee, Minnesota. Emily A. Strike, Invergrove Heights, Minnesota. Ying Tao, Oakdale, Minnesota. Rachel Thielen, Eagan, Minnesota. Courtney Wood, Richfield, Minnesota. Kelly Zubik, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Carl Self, Director of the Division of Dental Therapy, to congratulate our Master of Dental Therapy graduates. The graduates in the Master of Dental Therapy program are Erica Enriquez, Forest Lake, Minnesota. Sarita Gajawada, Hyderabad, India. Andrew Halverson, New Brighton, Minnesota. Jenny Myers, Hastings, Minnesota. Emily Strawhacker, New Prague, Minnesota. Mai Pang Vang, St. Paul, Minnesota. At this time, we will welcome our Doctor of Dental Surgery graduates into the profession. The ceremony we're about to conduct involves two parts, the act of hooding by the faculty and the awarding of the diploma. Each graduate receives a hood that symbolizes entry into the dental profession. The hood has 4 colors, black to signify the importance of the occasion, and maroon and gold, the official colors of the University of Minnesota. The hoods and gowns of the graduates are trimmed in lilac velvet, symbolizing the discipline of dentistry. The hooding ceremony will be conducted by Dr. Chris Lawther and Dr. Retta Talib. Candidates for the Doctor of Dental Surgery degree are Dr. Liena Abreos, Cienfuegos, Cuba. Dr. Ellen Anderson, Matamidi, Minnesota. Dr. Ellen Anderson is graduating with distinction. Dr. Trevor Andrews, Bemidji, Minnesota. Dr. Diane Beckius Archbold, Avon, Minnesota. Dr. Diane Beckius Archbold is graduating with distinction. Dr. Natalie Astudillo, Caracas, Venezuela. Dr. Shaquila Barber, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Dr. Christopher Bothan, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Dr. Christopher Bothan is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Tara Boyd, Fort Myers, Florida. Dr. Charles Brushy, Lake Elmo, Minnesota. Dr. Christopher Carvalho, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Dr. Eric Christensen, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Eric Christensen is graduating with distinction. Dr. Samantha Clare, Osceola, Wisconsin. Dr. Samantha Clare is graduating with distinction. Dr. Craig Crandall, Winona, Minnesota. Dr. Margaret Craven, Austin, Minnesota. Dr. Patrick Curran, Lakeville, Minnesota. Dr. Audrey Sear, St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Dr. Shmuel Dabush, Moshav Zeitan, Israel. Dr. Carolyn Dissey, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Dr. Kylie Dome, Bismarck, North Dakota. Dr. Catherine Egan, Arlington Heights, Illinois. Dr. Elif Salih Eub, Silistra, Bulgaria. Dr. Jay Fulleret, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Dr. Joseph Fink, Mankato, Minnesota. Dr. Vincent Floater, Shoreview, Minnesota. Dr. Sonia Fujioka, Winona, Minnesota. Dr. Lauren Jardine, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Dr. James Goglia, Branford, Connecticut. Dr. Minerva Han, Seoul, South Korea. Dr. Heidi Hanna, Cairo, Egypt. Dr. Jeffrey Harry, Fargo, North Dakota. Dr. Jeffrey Harry is graduating with distinction. Dr. Mitchell Heeman, Casson, Minnesota. Dr. Mitchell Heeman is graduating with distinction. Dr. Michael Henderson, Iota, Minnesota. Dr. Bo Hoyam, Moorhead, Minnesota. Dr. Jana Holmgren, Andover, Minnesota. Dr. John Holt, Roseville, Minnesota. Dr. Ryan Howley, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Dr. Ryan Howley is graduating with distinction. Dr. Jessica Jurovich, Prior Lake, Minnesota. Dr. Krishna Katera, Nairobi, Kenya. Dr. Krishna Katera is graduating with distinction. Dr. Cody Stephen Andrew Kandera, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Dr. Jamie K. Kern, Verndale, Minnesota. Dr. Daniel J. Kohler, Brandon, South Dakota. Dr. Evan Kupski, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Dr. Deepika Kumar, Wichita, Kansas. Dr. Viet Quang Lam, Houston, Texas. Dr. Tin Lee, Blaine, Minnesota. Dr. Jae Hung Lee, Seoul, South Korea. Dr. Amelia Luer, St. Michael, Minnesota. Dr. Joseph Thomas Mack Line, Wausau, Wisconsin. Dr. Lolly Lowe, Portland, Oregon. Dr. Mohammed Mansour, Jerusalem, Palestine. Dr. Jagadish Morahata, Gorkha, Nepal. Dr. Nicholas Maddock, Duluth, Minnesota. Dr. Nicholas Maddock is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Laura Matheson, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Dr. Shayna Miranda McDonald, Coleraine, Minnesota. Dr. Jill Marie McMillan, Lonsdale, Minnesota. Dr. Jill Marie McMillan is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Brent Miller, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Andres Morantes Villalobos, Plymouth, Minnesota. Dr. Stephanie Motif, Oconto Falls, Wisconsin. Dr. Kanan Muscatel, Hawley, Minnesota. Dr. Lauren Knightsky, Excelsior, Minnesota. Dr. Kevin Guillen Wynn, Houston, Texas. Dr. Lon Wynn, Houston, Texas. Dr. Tina Wynn, Spring Lake Park, Minnesota. Dr. James Robert Oliver, Jr., Richmond, Virginia. Dr. Tara Cookneo Orrick, St. Charles, Illinois. Dr. Jamie Palmersheim, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Justin Paz, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Carolyn Pepper, Neenah, Wisconsin. Dr. Carolyn Pepper is graduating with distinction. Dr. Ava Perry, Wabasha, Minnesota. Dr. Carl John Peterson, Zombro Falls, Minnesota. Dr. Matthew Fawn, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Robert Vincent Pollen, Stoughton, Wisconsin. Dr. Proshenata Pratan, Briatnagar, Nepal. Dr. Kevin Ramp, Gurnee, Illinois. Dr. Kevin Ramp is graduating with distinction. Dr. Jameson Ribbons, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dr. Paul Rolfus, St. Paul, Minnesota. Dr. Paul Rolfus is graduating with distinction. Dr. Paul Rolfus is also graduating with a Master of Public Health degree. Dr. Kimberly Rostfold, Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Dr. Kimberly Rostfold is also graduating with a Master of Public Health degree. Dr. Joseph Rosnick, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dr. Olga Santars, Perm, Russia. Dr. Olga Santars is graduating with distinction. Dr. Benjamin Schneider, Delafield, Wisconsin. Dr. Benjamin Schneider is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Pamela Sarah, Ludhiana, Punjab, India. Dr. Sidney Sheridan, Fargo, North Dakota. Dr. Benjamin Sitz, Park Rapids, Minnesota. Dr. Elise Souliere, Port Huron, Michigan. Dr. Elise Souliere is graduating with distinction. Dr. Adam Spurl, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Dr. Adam Spurl is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Alicia St. Germain, Apple Valley, Minnesota. Dr. Christopher Stephenson, Onamia, Minnesota. Dr. Stephen Silvestrak, Wheaton, Illinois. Dr. Michael Tallberg, Plymouth, Minnesota. Dr. Tyler Tarman, Osceola, Wisconsin. Dr. Tyler Tarman is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Colin Pennington Taylor, Nisswa, Minnesota. Dr. Stephen Taylor, Chatfield, Minnesota. Dr. Stephen Taylor is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Kathleen Thieu, Maple Grove, Minnesota. Dr. Kathleen Thieu is graduating with distinction. Dr. Joanna Tran, Bloomington, Minnesota. Dr. Tori Vandewall, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dr. Nathan Van Laken, Watertown, South Dakota. Dr. Nathan Van Laken is graduating with high distinction. Dr. Erica Walters, Avon, Minnesota. Dr. Kara Weber, Excelsior, Minnesota. Dr. Dylan Weishar, Shelby, Montana. Dr. Bryce Willen, Belfouche, South Dakota. Dr. Bryce Willen is graduating with distinction. Dr. Julianne Winters, Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Jia Shung Yang, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Dr. Xu Yao, Singapore, Singapore. Dr. Chin Young Annie Yu, Aurora, Illinois. Dr. Wen Li Yu, Wuhan, China. Dr. Katarzyna Janina Zelichowski, Sopot, Poland. Dr. Ken Zhou, Maple Grove, Minnesota.
Congratulations to all our graduates. At this time, I would like our dental class of 2017 with DDS degree to stand along with anyone in the audience who has a Doctor of Dental Surgery degree to recite the oath for new dentists in the tradition of Hippocrates. Everybody got it? In the tradition of Hippocrates and the men and women through the ages who have dedicated their lives to the art and science of medicine and dentistry, I make the following pledge. The respect and dignity of patients and the confidential nature of our relationship are foremost in my service to them. I acknowledge my limitations and need for continued education. I will seek the knowledge and inspiration of my colleagues, friends, and patients. My work shall be dedicated to improving the quality of life for those who seek my assistance. I will honor the wishes and needs of the patient and will always communicate treatment plans in the best interests of the patient. I will do no harm. I will strive always to improve the practice of dentistry, to provide a level of care that is ethical, moral, and just. I expect the same standards from my colleagues and will not tolerate their indifference, greed, or unethical behavior. My profession is an honored one. I will not violate the trust society has placed in me by allowing race, religion, sexual orientation, gender, or social standing to affect my judgment or ability to take care of patients. I will be humble. I will consider the tools of my profession to be knowledge, skill, compassion, and patience. I will share these tools freely with my colleagues and patients alike. I shall do my utmost to provide the vulnerable members of society the care and attention they need to assure their health, dignity, and protection. I see all human life as sacred. In the presence of my teachers, my family, and my friends, I make these promises solemnly and freely. With this oath, I willingly assume the rewards and responsibilities of a dentist. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Margaret Craven and Dr. Ryan Howley from the Doctor of Dental Surgery class of 2017, who will lead us in singing Hail Minnesota. Take their lead. This is never an easy song to sing. Please stand, those that are not.
We should switch sides. Minnesota, hail to thee. Hail to thee, our college dear. Thy light shall ever be a beacon bright and clear. Thy sons and daughters true will proclaim thee near and far. They will guard thy fame and adore thy name. Thou shalt be their northern star. Oh, right, that's right.
Well done, and thank you. At this time, I'd like a large round of applause for all our graduates of 2017. Congratulations, all graduates. As we close our 2017 School of Dentistry commencement ceremony, following the recessionals, please I invite everyone to join us for a brief reception in the hallway. Thank you.